Hi, welcome to Todd's Tips. I'm Todd Barsness of Full-Time Voiceover Talent, and Todd's Tips is a feature of VO Marketing Pro. Now, if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to voiceover, just visit our Facebook page, website, or contact us via email. The links are located here. So, last week I shared this simple, kind of crude graph that I base my self-evaluation on, as well as vet VO coaches, and demand he can flash that information up so that you can view it from time to time. Last week I talked about, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here so you'll see that on your screen and I'll be referencing it here. Last week I talked about VO legal and taxes, in which I think I'm close to a know-nothing. And then I also talked about VO collection, in other words, getting paid for our voiceover work, and then VO editing and quality assurance, in which I think that our team is quite competent. In fact, I think, honestly, we could probably label ourselves as experts and teach others in that area. I think that we have mastered that. By the way, if you want to see what I said last week about the VO legal and taxes, as well as the VO collection and VO editing QA, then you can see that. But let's move on to that sheet. And Damon, make sure you put that up here so people can see that. Again, at the top, you can see expert over there to the left, top side, down to the bottom is kind of being a know-nothing. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just that you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the proficiency, the competency, and especially you're not an expert. You haven't mastered it. And so down at the bottom, the VO legal and taxes, I say I'm basically a know-nothing. I know who to call, which is good, and I know how to get help, which is good, but beyond that, I don't know that much. And then VO collection at the top there, close to being an expert. Maybe we could call ourselves experts. Maybe we could give us that title as far as VO collection and VO editing. Let's talk about the next two or three here. So down at the bottom, you can see there across from 2 is VO technical and equipment. Now, I'm somewhat proficient in at least running my own equipment, but as far as giving people advice on an interface and microphones and all the different ins and outs of setting up a studio, I know what I did, and I could tell people what I did and give them people to call who I think are experts. One we had on last week, Alex DeWeese. I could have you call him, and he could help you with audio processing, and his dad, Bill DeWeese, is an expert in a lot of things, VO, and we could send you to him, and we do, because they're a sponsor of our father-son podcast, and so links are in our description all of the time. So, but as far as me, I'm just more of a person that's saying, hey, I need help, I can do it myself, I kind of know what I like, I kind of know what I want to hear, but you're going to have to call somebody else if you want them to actually set things up for you in your studio and give you equipment and technical information. That's why I put myself way down on the bottom, because I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I just kind of know who to call, and I know that I need help. On the other side of things, you can see they're up around 8 or so, VO business mindset and being client-centric. I think that those are things that I'm at least getting closer to being an expert in. I've been running a VO business for over 12 years. It continues to grow. I think that I know how to run a VO business and how to especially keep my mind strong and focused on, the critically important short-term and long-term goals in starting and growing a voiceover business, and being client-centric and all of the ins and outs of that, which we can talk about that in a separate video, what it means to be client-centric. We can talk about that. But I think in those two areas, I think I can really help people. And if I was to go into coaching, which I am not, at least as a paid coach at this point, I haven't charged anything for coaching, I think that's where my strong points would lie. And that's one of the reasons why I like to be on here and talk to you, because I'm evaluating myself in front of you and hopefully helping you evaluate me maybe as a future coach or as someone that you should listen to, whether it's free or charged advice, and maybe other VO coaches. So I think I'm pretty good as far as my knowledge and information, I think I'm learning to master VO business mindset and client centrism. So let's just talk about the two more, and then we'll save two more for a couple more for next week. Let's go back down here where I'm closer to a know-nothing. And again, I'm just evaluating myself. As far as VO audio engineering and processing, I kind of handled that with the VO technical and equipment. The VO technical and equipment is a little bit more the hardware, where this is more just the audio, the VO audio engineering and processing. Again, I go to Alex DeWeese because he's helped me, he's helped Hudson, he's helped my mobile rig, and we're just very pleased with him. So check out his link below. And he is an expert. He's gone to college for that, done it for many years. And so he continues to help people. I'm not an expert. Go to him as far as audio engineering and processing. Again, like I said last week on the podcast, I know what I like. I know what I want to hear. I know what it should sound like. But getting it there, I think that's what makes the difference between me being an expert and just being a person that needs help in the audio engineering and processing department. And then finally, let's look there at the top around the 7-ish mark of being close to being an expert. I just put down VO direct email marketing. Now, you might say, what? I mean, you've been doing direct email marketing for 12 years, and most of the time, each year, you're making anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 a year in direct email marketing. And that might be true, and you might also say that I started or helped start VO Marketing Pro with my 6 adult sons. That said, I just think to call myself an expert in that is maybe going just a bit too far, because I think there's more, scientific things that I could continue to do better in and continue to practice things and continue to be more consistent. And I don't think I'm being hard on myself or wrongly, putting myself down, self-deprecating. I just think, again, to call myself an expert in VO direct email marketing, I just want to be careful with that. Again, if you want more information about direct email marketing, I think I can teach you things, and I think my sons can teach you things about that. But again, we're looking at it as compared to a know-nothing and an expert. And I think, as humbly as I can be and seeing myself, I think I'm on the upper end of that as far as understanding direct email marketing, and at least in the voiceover side of things. So I would put myself up there as somebody that could give advice and help people out, which we do. And that's what VO Marketing Pro does. And people are successful using our advice. So that's another criteria for you to use to call yourself an expert. If not only you're doing it, but when people put your stuff into practice alongside of you doing it, then that kind of puts you up there, at least toward being an expert. Thanks a lot for joining me for Todd's Tips. And if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to VO, the links are listed here.